Hey, good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App, okay? I was able to come home for a few minutes before I have to get back out to feed the puppies and all of that. But I was sitting, I was thinking about it as I was eating lunch. Um, the Shelby County DA laid out the format pretty for Young Daw's family to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the C, the M, and the G, okay? Of course, everybody's just fascinated with this and has been for a very long time because of the dynamics, because of the rappers that are involved or allegedly involved in this case. And I think for so long, so many people thought that the Memphis Police Department and the Shelby County's DA did not get the opportunity, okay? Or hey, that they were not going to get it, right? And that is because of the dynamics and all of the people that are involved. They pretty much had to be quiet. They pretty much had to go underground, as I always say, so that they can do their investigation. And we see that they had a lot of evidence. If you look at an interview that one of Young Dolph's artists did, Paper Route Wu says that them folks had so much evidence that they didn't even use it. They didn't even have to use it because the trial was basically over, okay, the first day, okay? And that is because Cornelius decided to go ahead and turn state's evidence. And hey, I don't know if he did it because, he had an epiphany, but I think it's got more to do with him feeling like they used me. I didn't get paid but $800 and I'm not going to let them walk free. I guess once he realized what they did, what their plans were for him, which was to basically have him, because Straight Drop almost didn't get out of the car. It was basically to have Cornelius to go and do exactly what he did because it was his shots that really just riddled Young Dolph with blows, right? And so, listening to Paul Hagerman, I love the way his opening statements were. Paul Hagerman pretty much laid it out really pretty to let you know that there are some things to come. Okay, to let you know there are some things to come. To let you know that and basically who was involved, right? And from the very start of the opening statements and stuff, he kind of came out swinging and just laying that format out like just real pretty, just letting you know that this is the area that it came from. And then I could tell, like when Cornelius was on the stand, okay, when Cornelius was on the stand, when he wanted to bring up other people, Paul Hagerman kind of redirected him to keep it just right on Juke and Hernandez Govan. That's kind of what he did. He kind of wanted him more so to keep it really more so on Juke. I think even more than Hernandez Govan because Cornelius just kind of brought Hernandez Govan up himself. But I believe that Paul Hagerman, what his plan was to lay the foundation. He was laying the foundation to let it be known that this is where it came from because we're in the second phase now of where they are draining the swamp. Right. When Operation Drain the Swamp. And remember, I always told you all what the federal government says that when they start draining the swamp, that is, they get into the money, right? The pipeline to the money, and then they start draining it, right? And so I think that is why Paul Hagerman laid that foundation out like it did, and it also affords Young Dolph's children, his parents, his wife, his siblings, everybody that loved him, maybe even his business partners. That foundation was laid out so pretty that they can start the process of filing a wrongful unalive lawsuit in which they should be able to, right? You think about young Dolph, who was a 36-year-old man who has so much life left, right? And I get to thinking about the biblical terms because y'all correct me. I think that God says he gives you either 70, I believe, or 75 years, right? So young Dolph was a 36-year-old man. So he had about expect his life expectancy probably was, if we go by the biblical terms, he had about 40 um, years of life. 39 to 40 years of life. That's a lot of life that they snatched away for nothing, right? And so his children was ripped of that. His kids won't get the opportunity to, little Ari won't have the opportunity to have her father walk her down the aisle on her big day. Little Trey Trey won't have the opportunity for his father to be sitting in the stand cheering him on when he graduates from high school or college. He won't get the opportunity to see his first grandbaby, stuff like that. He didn't get the opportunity to marry his woman, to have a legal marriage ceremony with his woman. His parents won't get the opportunity to witness the love, or the just the support that he gave his family. And so when you start thinking about that, and that man was taken out for nothing, hey, I'm happy that the DA laid it out like that. That lets you know that he knew, they all know what's going on. Okay. Didn't try and walk around anything other than not putting too much out, because there's another investigation going on, right? But they he laid it out there pretty. He laid it out there pretty for real. Okay. And so the next question is, I know a lot of people have been asking, I wonder if Young Dolph's family is going to file a wrongful death lawsuit. We don't know yet, but I can assume so. Okay, I can assume so, and I think they could do it and win without a problem. Okay, because like I said, the DA laid that thing out pretty for them to be able to do it. Cornelius even said, okay, in his testimony, he says that his lawyers were paid by C to the M to the G, and they asked him, well, where who paid who from CMG? He said, I don't know. He said he didn't know. And it's so weird because I can remember, shout out to our rest in peace young Dolph, that is one of my subscribers, who probably about a year ago um was sending me messages on Cornelius's sister, and his sister, on social media, one of his sisters was just regularly communicated with your God is in them sister. Now I know that don't mean nothing. Okay, it don't mean anything. Maybe they already knew each other, but me myself, I find it weird. Okay, I just really don't believe in coincidences. Okay, so it is alleged that your Gotti's sister now is the CEO of CMG. Y'all check that out. I had some subs to tell me that. I haven't looked into it, but it is alleged that she is the CEO of CMG at this point. Yeah, the CEO, or yeah, she's one. I think they said they've made her the CEO of CMG. I think y'all look into that. She's an exec at some point. I believe it's CEO. And maybe they already knew each other, but it's just, you just cannot believe in coincidences as it relates to this trial. And so when Cornelia says, I don't know where the money came from, it just makes you, it just makes your mind start wondering about, what he says. He knew it came from CMG. He just don't know who in CMG that it came from. And just from him saying that himself, him saying that he basically was laid out a foundation too. This is the organization that my money, came from to pay for my lawyers $50,000. So hey, that's why I say, Paul Hagerman laid that format out to really set into motion the process of Young Dolph's family getting justice in totality. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, y'all go hard or whatever. No, you know what? If it was the other way around, I, for me, I speak for myself. I would feel the same way if it had been Gotti that was taken out, and that was a consistent pattern that came from Young Dolph's label of trying to take out a man, a businessman in Memphis, that was just trying to rap, that was just trying to, feed other people, that was just trying to feed his family. I would say the same thing. I say that's heinous in nature, especially if it was just about a rap song. They were not a threat to his person, because Young Dolph had the money if he wanted to. Young Dolph was a millionaire. So if he wanted to retaliate, he could have. He could have retaliated. But I think Young Dolph understood that they were trying to bait him into a war. Whereas you heard what Cornelia said, there was a bag on each and every artist's head. So if he had started retaliating, Young Dolph had enough money where he can go somewhere to an undisclosed location. A lot of the other little dudes that was around him may not have. His artists did, but some of his affiliates may not have. And so he understood that would start a war where his artists are getting hit at concerts. That's all they was wanting to do, is bait him into one. But he just wanted to continuously to make the money. He didn't want to put his artists' lives in danger, nor his life, because, I know a lot of people say maybe if he had just dumped back one time, it would have made him back up, right? But the young man just wanted to make his money. And that says a lot right there, when you are a multimillionaire and you got the money to hire a professional hitman. Okay. And you don't do it, and these people consistently try and take you out. So, that's just really, that's messed up, right? But yeah, Paul Hagerman, he laid that thing out. Cornelius laid that thing out. And I'm not doubting at all that there will be at some point, if it's not already in motion, some type of wrongful death, wrongful unaliving lawsuit that will come from Young Dolph's family, as it very well should, right? Because one of the suspects that is accused of taking him out has said that this is where it came from. This is who hired us, and this is who paid for my attorneys, right? And I don't know when Cornelius's attorneys were paid for. Now, there are rumors, I'm sure. Let me just say this. I do know that, because I do work with attorneys. I do work for attorneys. And I do know that they charge retainers fees, right? And you think about the attorneys that that these guys had. These were high-powered attorneys that charged upward of $500 to $1,000 an hour. And so they charge for everything they do. I mean, they're going to click the clock if they running copies. If they get up and run to the copy machine, they start that clock. They're going to start that timer. So they nickel and dime you to death. So they charging you upward of $500 to $1,000 an hour. Okay. So that means Cornelius had shows the whole time, which is a high-powered attorney, from January of 2022 until now. That $50,000, I'm sure Shows has had, he's gotten a couple of retainers fees. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's what they're not saying. He didn't just take $150,000 in 2 years. He's more than likely had a couple of retainers fees, because once that retainers fee, they nickel and dime you to death. They charge you for when they come to court, when they're working on the case, when they're doing their case notes, when they come and see you. They came to see him a lot of times, charging them. Let's see. I'll lowball Shows right quick and say $500 an hour. Okay, so 50,000. Because see, I believe he got paid more than once. Okay, hold on, y'all. So that means that I don't even know why I had to do that. That's about 100 hours, right? That would be about 100 hours. Did I do that right? Y'all help me out. I was moving fast. 50,000. Okay, so that's about 100 hours. Right. So can how in 2 years, how quick will a lawyer drink up 100? Come to court, resetting fees, resetting um cases, interviewing so-called witnesses, talking to people, running copies, coming coming to see you. You talk to your lawyer, even if it's a visitation, video visitation, a few times a week. He gonna charge you. You're gonna talk to him about 30 to 45 minutes. They're gonna round that 45 minutes up to an hour. So in 2 years, of course, he was paid another retainer's fee. He was probably paid about three. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. So we know Cornelius, who was paid $800, didn't have it. Okay, we know he didn't have it. So Straight Drop didn't have it either, other than Straight Drop. Me myself, I think I said this in another video. Straight Drop, I believe that Straight Drop got more than $40,000. If you listen to Mr. N says that when they brought it to him, yes, they tried to take it to somebody else. He let them know, Mr. N is a accomplished producer, that he wanted no parts of it. He said he reached out to Dolph to let young Dolph know that it was not right, and he didn't want no parts of what they were doing. And at that time, it was $250,000. Okay, they was willing to put out 250 on his head. And he said 6 months before it happened, he reached out to young Dolph to let him know this. And he let them know, and he went to other people to let them know this ain't right. So it was other people that was well aware of what they was planning to do to that man. And he said it was 250,000 even before they ever even got anybody, before they brought anybody to the table. And he told them that it was wrong, and he received a lot of backlash. So it was quite a few people that was jealous of young Dolph, because when you listen to the man's interview, he said, and it was other CEOs that encouraged it. Okay. And it had to have been because of their jealousy, because why would you want to see a man just be slaughtered like that, right? And not at least say what Mr. N say. He said, no, I don't want no parts of this. So I believe that I believe Straight Drop got more than $40,000. I think they just told Cornelius that, they really, they told him it's going to be 100, get Orange Mound quit 10 a piece, and then we give you 40. They didn't plan on giving them nothing, but $40,000 ain't enough to do nothing to an ant, let alone a human life that is irreplaceable. So I believe, if Mr. N, if it started out at 250, I just think that, the negotiations when it came to Cornelius, because they looked at him as being a drug addict, that they was just going to lowball him anyway. And at some point they decided we just ain't going to give him nothing. Okay. So Straight Drop probably got about, 150 or 200. Right. But either way it goes, Cornelius and the district attorney the district attorney with the help of Cornelius was able to lay out the format for young Dolph's family to file a wrongful unaliving against the C, the M to the G. Real pretty. And I think that we all saw that, right? We all saw that. So, hey, justice for young Dolph. And whatever it is that is going on, hey, Cornelius let you know that the law enforcement knows everything. He said they know everything. Well, no need of me lying. They know. And they do. And that's why I can't understand why people are still out here doing crazy stuff, because it's not going to stop anything. I think about all of the people, that I heard that was unalived as it relates to this case. I know people have their their ideas about what happened to Jeremiah Taylor, but I was always told that it was directly related to this case. And it's just it's sad what people are willing to do for money. It really is, but when they're willing to do anything for money, I'm just happy that. Now I don't talk a lot about Jeremiah Taylor. I don't, because I know that, you notice they're quiet. I always remember when they're quiet, it's because there's some type of investigation going on, and they are on top of the persons that was involved in it. And what happened to Jeremiah Taylor and some of the rest of them, people are just pathetic. What they do for money, they get themselves involved and get setting people up and hurting people and taking hits and stuff for no reason at all. So, hey, it's going to be interesting. But yes, I believe that Mr. Hagerman laid it out pretty for them to be able to get a for young dogs, kids to be able to. And I'm sure when people know that, I'm sure the lawyers are looking at it and they're trying to rearrange and hide stuff. But the one thing about it, um, I as I said, I do investigative work. I work with lawyers, and people hire us every day to find assets. Okay, and we can find them. So when they start switching them around, it ain't, it it don't, it usually don't work out for me. It oftentimes it makes the judge, when there's proof of people trying to move around assets and things of that nature, because it's always proof. The dates and stuff are always there. What they do is they really hurt themselves. It makes the judge go eat. That makes the judge hit them across the head real hard. In the back of the mind, the judge be saying, "You thought you was gonna play me? I probably would have gave you 10 million, but I'm gonna give them 20." Okay, so people just kind of hurt themselves. When you do wrong, wrong follow you. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.